K the Great.
All right, we are
There you go.
live.
Hi, everybody. It's Miss Jackson here. Our wonderful host, Mr. Spud Brooklyn, is not feeling well this evening, and we did not want to cancel tonight's show. We have an amazing author that we're live with tonight. So you've got me, and you've got Mr. Luciano Di Giallonardo.
Yes, you got it. Yes, you get it.
Okay. So he is an author out of Brooklyn. He's got an amazing book. It's called A Howling in Brooklyn. Before we get started, we're going to listen to a song from The Experience because I have to take every opportunity to promote that album. And we'll be right back. I hope. Maybe not. Okay, well, we're going to hear a song, but let's just get right into this.
I came from nothing, descended from glory. I made my way to the top, and I wrote my own story. It takes hard work, patience, and grit. Only the strong survive. You know, I did it. I was given love from my family and my team. They told me to go chase my dreams.
Can you hear me now?
Way was hard.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
It made me
The video's
sad.
playing. The video's playing. I'm gonna cue you up.
Way was hard, and it made me mad.
Okay.
This is my message.
This is fun.
This is my blues. If you never quit,
I can't wait to start
then you'll never lose.
reading this book even more.
Thank you.
I came
Thank
from
you so much
nothing,
for the book and the service.
descended from glory.
Oh, you're very welcome. You look great in it.
I made
Thank
my
you.
way
You see
to
the little
the top, and I
infomercials I
wrote my
made?
own story.
Yes, I loved it.
Takes
Trying
hard
to be a
work,
little creative.
patience,
Did a
and
great
grit.
job. Oh, yes.
Only the strong survive.
You're welcome.
I did it.
Okay, we're back with Luciano. Luciano,
How are you?
good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thank you. I was going to ask you, could you tell us a little bit more about who you are? But introductions are always the best route to go.
Sure.
Um,
As you know, my name is
go ahead.
Luciano Di Giallonardo. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. And I've always had a passion for horror movies. And my favorite character was always the werewolf. I thought he was always the strongest of all the, between Dracula and Frankenstein. The werewolf, to me, was always the strongest. The moon would always fuel him, make him strong. And that's how I got this idea to write this book. And how I wrote this book, it's quite funny. I was watching reruns of The Sopranos. When that
Okay.
ended, I was watching a movie called The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro.
Right, right.
And then, and it hit me. What if the mob had a confrontation with a werewolf? Who would win that fight? And werewolf stories always take place in Europe. But this
Right.
time I changed it, and I said, what happens if there's a werewolf in Brooklyn where I grew up? And I just started typing and typing until I didn't stop. And it became a very successful book.
Wow. That's amazing. Is this your
Thank
first
you.
book?
Yes, my very first book, and I'm proud of it. I've gotten so many great reviews. I got over 47 reviews, and it's still growing. I got a big fan base, and Barnes and Noble and Amazon. The reviews have been pouring and pouring. All my family and friends, everyone's so proud of me, and it was a big accomplishment in my life.
Is this self-published or do you have a publisher in New York?
I have a publisher in New Jersey, Red Bank. It's called Newman Springs Publication. They've been so good to me, and they haven't let me down.
How did you pitch the book to them? There's many authors out there. They write short stories. My dad, an example, he
Oh.
has a degree in journalism. He has tons of short stories, but he publishes them himself, little tiny paperbacks.
Mhm.
How do you go about identifying the right publisher, and what's the process in doing that?
To find the right publisher, you have to do your homework. You check the AAA and find out, what's the grading. I forgot what it's called. Where they give a grade average, and Newman Springs Publication got a grade A. I did a lot of research on them. I reached out to them, and I sent them, a copy of my manuscript, what the book was about, and they were hooked. They said, Luciano, this could be a bestseller. And look what happened. It is now a bestseller, and they loved it. And they're waiting for more books to come from me.
So, do you have a commitment to them to do more than one book? I mean,
Yes.
is this possibly going to be a little series of books, or have
Well,
you thought of making this into a movie?
we're going to make a movie, and I'm working with the right people, my manager. We're getting in touch with a lot of actors and actresses, a lot of celebrities. It's going to take time. Nothing happens overnight. But when people started reading this and they said, oh my God, I can just see this in my head. And a lot of the readers, they're telling me every time I reading the book, they're seeing what's going on in their head. So yes, definitely, we have plans for a movie, and this movie is going to be top of the charts. It's going to be something and different, but it's going to be a great movie.
Who do you envision as, just think about some A-list actors, who do you envision as the werewolf?
That's a good question. It's a good question. I thought about a couple of actors. I thought about William DeMeo playing the werewolf. Uh, as far as the mob boss, I pictured Armand Asante playing the mob boss, or Chaz Palmieri playing the mob boss. Now, as far as the werewolf, Detective Danny Marco, I still haven't thought about who can really fill in that part. Because to play this part, you have to be from New York, from Brooklyn, with the Brooklyn accent. You have to know the area of all Brooklyn. And we're still doing research, but I'm confident we're going to find that one actor who can play, Detective Danny Marco.
That's really interesting. I can't wait to read the book. I know that book is going to keep my nose in it. So I'm going to wait till I have a really good weekend to just relax and read. Um,
Mhm.
what was the hardest chapter or scene to write in this book?
Well, the hardest chapter was the ending. I thought to myself, how am I going to make this a great ending? Because for every good book, you have to have a great ending. If the ending is boring, people are going to say, that's it, and they're going to throw the book away. But I had to think of a really, really great ending, and it hit me really good. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I guarantee you, when you get to the ending of this book, you're going to say to yourself, wow, how did he come up with this? And I envisioned that in the movie too.
So the ending was your most challenging part.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
without giving away too much, should you leave the ending as a cliffhanger to open doors for the next book?
Absolutely. That ending it has a cliffhanger, and it also has maybe a possible different ending to have the readers thinking. Now, what's going through his mind? Is he going to continue this, or is he going to create an alternate an alternate book where something else happens?
Right, right.
That's what I have the readers thinking.
So if you yourself were one of the characters in the book, which character would you be?
Oh, Detective Danny Marco, after
Why?
what he's been through, and he's the werewolf, and the mob is coming after him, his friends, and his family, his neighborhood. He's got to stop them, and there's only one person that could stop them. When that moon shines, you better run. Here comes the werewolf.
So I haven't really read too much of the book. So what time frames are we looking at? Are we looking in the 2000s, the early 1900s? What year did you set for this book?
Present day time frame. When I
Oh,
first
yeah.
when I first wrote this book, yeah, in 2023, it takes place in 2023 because I wrote this book 2 years ago, and everybody loves it. They say, "Wow, a present day werewolf in my neighborhood! Wow."
So, which neighborhoods in Brooklyn does the werewolf, I don't want to say reside, but where does he hang out mainly?
Diker Heights, Brooklyn. That's where Detective Danny Marco lives. That's my old stomping grounds, and I talk about the neighborhood stores and the pizzerias and the schools. And a lot of my readers, they get back to me and they say, "Wow, you mentioned this area in Diker Heights. That's where I grew up. I know that area." So I get the readers thinking, "Wow, this book is about my neighborhood," and they love it so much.
Oh, yeah, that absolutely would be a hook. There was a book
Mhm.
that I read years ago, California Gold. That book,
Okay.
I would have never read a book like that, but because it mentions so many of the little rural towns where I lived, it had me very hooked. I couldn't stop reading the book.
Excellent. I like that. I'm gonna have to get a copy of that.
John Jakes, I believe
Okay.
Jakes, yeah, California Gold. Um, if there was a song that can go with the book, what song would you choose?
It's a classic song called Blue Moon.
Okay.
It's been sung by many different artists back in the 60s and the 50s. I'm sorry, the 50s and the 60s. That would be a great song. More updated song version of that. It would fit right in.
Is there any females in this book? Anybody that we should be looking out for?
I would love to get Brooklyn-born actresses like Marissa Tomei,
Hmm.
or she would fit in perfectly. Or the actress from King of Queens. I can't get her name. She played the Doug Heffernan's wife. For some reason, I can't get her name in my head right now. But all Brooklyn-born actresses with that Brooklyn accent, they would fit in so well.
I can see that. Tell me about the experience in your book signing.
It was phenomenal. It was my first book signing at Barnes and Noble, Staten Island. Yes, I was really, really nervous. I had my table as the people were coming in. I had my books lined up. A few people were looking. I'm waving them. My manager and myself were telling them, "Please come meet the author." And slowly but surely, they all started coming. And then a lot of people started coming. And it felt so great to be a celebrity, to sign my autograph on the book, take pictures with everyone. It felt really, really good. And I look forward to doing the next one. I got this one done. The next one, I hope it's even better.
So, do you plan on doing a book signing in Brooklyn, or are you hitting
Yes,
different cities in New York?
yes. I've sent emails to Barnes and Nobles in New York City and Brooklyn, and they like the idea. I'm waiting to hear back to get a date. And once I do, I'll definitely let you know, and we'll do a live feed, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, Spud's right there in Brooklyn. We can,
Oh yeah, he could come. Yes,
yeah, we can send him out there with his camera or whatever else. But
and a T-shirt for Spud. Yes.
yeah, absolutely. So, who were your influences for this book besides The Sopranos and Benicio del Toro? What influences did you have to write this book? I mean, did you have a request for it? Did your family say you should do this? I know that you had that idea, but where did you get the influences to continue to write this book? Because I think
Oh
this
yeah.
would be something that I think this would be really difficult to write unless your mind can really just dig deep into fantasy and horror.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, I dig, but my mind goes right into fantasy and horror, like you said. But I owe all my success to my late mother. Her name was Melba Di Giallonardo. She was my hero, my best friend, and she said to me, "No matter what you do, you keep writing, you follow your dreams. And if this book gets published before I'm gone, you keep moving. Make me proud." And I did. My book got published, but she didn't get a chance to see it, but it was my mother who gave me the push to go ahead and get this book done. And I miss her so much, but I know she's smiling down and she's very happy.
Well, I bet. I know she is too. What oppositions did you have in this journey?
Well, I had some close friends and some relatives that I thought we were tight, but a lot of people came up to me and they said, you write a book, you're not smart enough to write a book, you can't write a book, and they try to put me down, but I didn't let them bother me because I always said to them, well, if you think you could write a better book than me, the sky's the limit.
Right.
I pushed away all that negativity and I just kept moving and moving until I became very successful. I mean, another person said to me, they read my book and he said, well, I would change this, I would change that. How could you write that? And again, I said to him, you write a book and then we'll talk. And I didn't let that bother me at all.
Yeah, it's too bad that there, there are haters, but they're your biggest fans. They're the ones that are snooping around,
Yeah.
seeing what you're doing. So you got to give them
Yes.
that, right? um,
Exactly.
so you have this fascination for horror movies and mafia movies.
Yes.
You, I know that we share a friend that did the sound for Don Q.
Yeah. James Catapano, a great guy.
hmm So that's another. I think that's more of a comedy mafia movie.
Yes, it is. Yes. I saw it. I loved it. Did you see it?
I did. I loved it. I loved it. It was a
I
good
loved it from the
movie.
beginning to the end. Hmm.
So I bring that up because you mentioned Armand Asante. He's an
Yes.
amazing actor, and I can see him as well being the head
Oh,
mob.
yes. I
Uh,
met him.
did you? How was that?
Yeah. It was a great feeling, a really great guy. And when we took pictures together, my friend James Catapano, he said, go meet him. And Armand said to me, oh, you're Luciano. I love your book. We shook hands and I was like, huh? I didn't know what else to say. Very nice guy. We were viewing his movie that he made, the Gotti movie where he played John Gotti.
Uh huh.
He was phenomenal in that movie. Phenomenal. He played that part so perfect. And if he could play the mob boss in my story, he'd be even greater.
This is true. What other mafia movies influence you besides The Sopranos?
The Sopranos. We have also a Crime Story. There was also another movie called Mob Ties. Um, Once Upon a Time in America. There were so many mob stories that influenced me, and it just hit me. It just hit me. Like I said, it's always the mob versus the mob versus the mob for control and the police. And but then when I came up with this mob versus the werewolf, and it's always like, hey, how you doing? I'm not afraid of that guy. A lot of these mob movies, I really enjoyed them much, including the horror movies. I'm a big fan of horror movies, old style horror movies. Those are my favorite.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the book? I mean, I know that the audience needs to purchase it and read it, but can you just kind of share some of the chapters with us? Just kind of give us some cliffhangers.
All right. Now here we have Detective Danny Marco, an NYP detective, been on the force. He wanted to join the force since he was a little child. Him and his best friend Paul Carrillo. They grew up, became cops, and his father owns a pizzeria in Dyker Heights, Brooklyn, Marco's Pizzeria. But one day he crossed paths with the mob boss's nephew, Nicky Giannetti. Now, Nicky Giannetti, he's a spoiled mob brat. He thinks he can get whatever he wants out of fear. And as long as his uncle is in charge, nobody can cross him. These two lives will come together and they'll cross paths, good versus evil. And not to give too much away, but Detective Danny Marco sets him straight and tells him, stay away from my uncle's pizzeria or there's going to be a war. But something happens in the story. I don't want to give that away. Well, then Danny Marco says, you know what? They've crossed the line. I'm going after them. But Danny Marco is about to get married, so his friends take him to a cabin in Pennsylvania. His life changed in that cabin when something happens to him. He gets bit by an unknown animal, which we all know who that is. And that's
Right.
where everything changes. And he uses his newfound power. Now he has to say to himself, am I going to go after the mob? Am I going to turn myself in?
Hmm.
And his best friend, Paul, has to protect him. But once you read it and you start understanding why he has to use what he has, his curse, you're going to say to yourself, amazing.
I can't wait.
Thank you.
Uh, as a boy growing up in Brooklyn, did you have the opportunity to meet real mafia people?
It's funny you should say that. When I was in high school, me and my friends went into this social bar. I'm not going to say the name, but it's not
Right.
there no more. We were playing pool and we didn't know who owned that bar. We just wanted to play pool.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were done, down this neighborhood, even though it's a big area, everybody knows everybody. So when I got home that day and my mother says to me, Luciano Di Giallonardo. Now, when your mom calls you by your first and last name, you're in trouble.
Trouble, exactly.
She says to me, your father wants to talk to you. All right, where is he? He's in the living room. So I walk in. Hey, Pop, how's it going? He gets up, grabs me by my ear, and picks me up like, what's wrong with you? Starts, yelling in Italian and telling me who owned that bar. I'm like, Pop, I didn't know. I just wanted to play pool. And I'm thinking, who told you I was there? I'm not going to tell you. I never found out who told him. Rat. Whoever that
Wow.
rat was.
Wow. That's really interesting.
Yes.
Um, I know we have a clip. We want to show that really quick. So if we can roll into that clip, that'll be great. Let's see if we're
Excellent.
able,
Okay.
let's see if we're able to make that happen. Um, not sure. I think, yeah.
Looks like he's trying to get it. Yep.
Okay. So you're doing really good, and I don't feel that nervous. Um, but
Thank
we,
you.
but we may.
Oh, I lost you. Okay.
Okay, so we're back. Can you tell us more about that reel?
At the Barnes and Noble, yes. Like I said, it was a great day and a great experience for me and for my readers and everyone who came to visit me. My sister came and a lot of my cousins and a lot of hugs, and everyone was just so proud of me, and I'm just so proud of myself. I only wish my parents were there, but I know they were with me in spirit. And I just hope when I do on some more signings, I hope it's a lot more people come to experience it, and a great feeling for me. And I hope I could do a signing at the next Comic Con if I get the chance. It'll be even bigger.
No, that would be really great if you can be able to do countrywide signings besides just being in New York. Is that
Oh
something in
yeah,
the works?
oh
So
yeah. We are yeah, we are talking about that. New Jersey, Long Island, Queens, and maybe going also to Delaware.
West
We're
Coast,
looking at that. Mhm.
West Coast.
West Coast too. Yes, I'll be there. I'll come visit you.
Okay, just that would be great. Um, as Spud usually says, we want to give the people on our show their flowers. There's oftentimes they just work so hard and there's no recognition. We don't want to wait to give you flowers when you're not here. So one thing we want to do is recognize you and give you your flowers for what you're working on.
Thank you.
Not just the book, but I know that you work hard on your day job or night job as well. So it takes
Yeah.
a lot of grit to do both. I think that's amazing. And
Thank you.
yeah, we just want to give yourself a, there you go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Um, is there anything else you'd like to say? Any shout outs?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my good friend, Mr. James Catapano, a great friend who's been helping me all the way, and I couldn't have made it without him. He's a great guy. I love him like a brother. I consider him my blood brother. And to all my fans out there, if you're interested in getting the book, you get it at barnesandnoble.com, Amazon. But when you do get the book at Amazon, make sure it has this, reader's reviews. Very important. That's the good book, and I guarantee, like I said, once everyone starts buying it, once you start reading it, you will not want to put it down. And I promise you, Miss Jackson, you will not want to put it down.
Where can the fans get your merch?
Sure, I have a website. It's called Luciano, Luciano, NYC, New York City.com. So it's Luciano, NYC.com. Sign up for my free mailing list. I have lots of merchandise. I have t-shirts. I have I'll show you. You can see that's my t-shirt.
Okay.
I got a werewolf action figure, my bookmarks.
Oh, nice.
Thank you very much. And it's all there. All you gotta do is put in their information, let me know what you want to buy, and everything is shipped out every Friday.
Yeah, I've got all of that.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, at this time, I don't have any more questions. Is there anything that you'd like to say or speak about?
Yes. So tonight, when you go to bed in Spud, Brooklyn, and all the people watching tonight, when you go to bed, remember to lock your doors, lock your windows, turn off the lights. You will hear the sound of a werewolf howling in the middle of the night. Oh!
I'll remember that. Okay, Luciano, thank you so much for being our guest tonight. And once again, we look forward to having you back sooner than later.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this, because I was a little nervous, but I think we got through it okay.
Yes, definitely we did. And thank you so much for having me on your show. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to be on your show again.
Oh, absolutely. And continue to post your information so that I can share it. And I think that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Have yourself a good night. Good night to everyone. Good night to Spud Brooklyn. God bless.
Good night.
Ciao. Good night.
Okay, thank you all for joining us. That was Luciano Di Giallonardo. He is an amazing author. I can't wait to get into this book. Thank you so much for having the patience with me. I'm going to have to do this more often. But that's all I got. We're going to play a little bit of music off the Experience album, and good night.
MJMG.
I know we need a change.
East Coast, West Coast. We need change though. Change needed. Too many crashing out and ain't speeding. No one leading. We need leaders. We need voices. We need it fast like twin Porsches. Used to be the problem, but I changed courses. Need Hov and kill 'em like the joint forces. Locked down on the problem like a rage pit. Pit down the yappers, no need for more blitz. We need less confrontation and more talking. Less killing equals no coffins. Many chat but they can't artists. Many shoot hitting wrong targets. Teaching the fish grow their own harvest. Stay in school and become the smartest. This is me being honest. I'm more like Malcolm than Martin Luther. From a block in their arms they shoot it. Time for change, no time to mute it. The time is now and the time is crucial.
I know we need a change. Time for, I know we need a, what? Look in the mirror, make a change. Sounds, blood on the ground, people gathering around, another life is over now. I don't think you know what we doing. Too many funerals turning into reunions. Running around taking lives like you're boosting. With a reckless abandon, not thinking it's shooting. What is it really all about? It's just foolishness. Out here at Roman, killing over them Jordans. Martin Luther rolling over in his grave. Malcolm X rolling over in